Some of my favorites. Some of the good ones, you know. When you get one in there, you gotta get it in there.
When we picture heroes, we don't often think about the orange jumpsuit of a convict. But in prisons, amongst thieves and murderers, there are still people who know right from wrong. And when the lives of these guards were in danger, convicts came to the rescue.
On the timeline of things, because, well, when you hit Fox in the box as the parallel
The Call
here,
of Duty. Usually in
and
prison,
he's hitting
the guards enforce the
MS-13,
rules,
because
and
it'd be a bad day for me.
When a riot
Pull me
erupted
right
at
the
Lee
fuck along
Correctional
in the chain
Institution
of
in South
corrections,
Carolina in
photons
2012,
and the servos of what the
everything
fuck
got
it is.
turned
You
upside
alien,
down.
get
In
your
the
ass
early
down
evening,
here.
around 120
Alien
inmates
soup,
rioted,
nuclear soup on
overpowering
Tuesday
a
for
guard,
you
beating
fucker.
him and taking him captive. The situation looked dire, and the standoff between the prisoners and authorities lasted for 5 hours. The problem was the police didn't know where in the prison the inmates were keeping the guard hostage, so they couldn't intervene without risking the officer's life. That was until one convict had the bright idea to use his contraband cell phone to call the authorities. He told them
Freemasonry is a little different, because you hit it. To be honest, it turns out to be 10% on 2 pounds of wheat, 2 pounds of barley. I'm going to cut that fucking number up any which way that starts to be in. All these little beepers over here fucking going at it. And somebody come at me sideways from, well, you're in town, you're out of town. I'm not saying that our rules reg, you should try them over there. I'm just, go over there and
adversaries. In this CCTV
because it would be on Sears training in that area. But look, there's some things inside here. You know, we can graph a certain index about what the fuck am I dealing with here. You know, I mean,
chest and collapses onto the floor. The handcuffed Rutledge looks around for help, but realizes
what'd you feel? What'd you feel? All that, this, hey, help, hey, you know, you good, bro? Fuck, I need to do this here. What was he sitting on the first right there? Shit, I could let him die. I couldn't let him die. He poked me in the eye when I was doing that thing, and you know, fucker anyway. That's stressing the game, and I was pushing too hard on him because I was thinking about it. It probably definitely was me. Shit.
Even held a ceremony to honor the teen for his actions. Unfortunately, Rutledge would make many return visits to the police station for the wrong reasons in the following months. Hopefully the staff were a little friendlier to the delinquent with an empathetic heart.
You know, like I said, back to that momentum problem with Hancock.
On March 11, 2016, Correctional Officer Cuevas was eating his lunch in the educational building of the same
Dalport all the time. You think just because the Scarlet King ain't sitting on the other side of the table, you ain't playing your Montauk horse shit? Give me into that Stanford Modern, LSD, Marshmallow, Ecotopia, Pretty One horse shit, you big ass elephant. Now you're telling me it's actually fishbowl mechanics and these guys are trying to be shy.
Another patted him on the back, and a third found a phone to call for help. After a short while,
I go in there and like I said, that my game is different though because it's the E4 Warden problem for sure. The E4 chess game is not the right answer always. If you only are given a goddamn newspaper and are told to fucking figure your way out of this system with a goddamn notebook that says red legend, no crabby, AR-15 boot, but I don't get boot today, I'm gonna figure it out from other indexes of Elon, Tesla, other values inside of here.
The guard on duty began to struggle in the heat. He started hyperventilating.
Sometimes you get twisters out there and theories about being the same damn thing, different black body radiation problems about. Damn rabbit out there. You try to shoot rabbits at 100%, 600 yards all the time, smash every one of them correctly on.
Disregard for human life as those other Georgia inmates had, but they didn't.
And it's pretty easy to index that thing in a graduated cylinder, isn't it? If the atmosphere was stoichiometry, I hit a match in here, it goes off. If not, your blood's it. And I'm telling you, I'm gonna fucking light you on fire.
All 6 inmates had
their
the
thing over there, well, clown arachnophobia one way or another, the wobbles on the stock market over here.
Aren't exactly the most threatening
that one, that's where the rabbit is on the heat problems of the glow of the breadboard I got to deal with here, Ben Eater. Thank you very much.
Florida Corrections Officer James Chapman. In 1983, Chapman was on shift.
Well, this is the Stanford experiment, right here. By any other standard, M1, M2 happened, and just because some life happened between there on zeros and ones, cutting it up and explaining a turbulent flow of Euler's number or a Tesla one-way valve here.
Fortunately, another inmate saw Mathis's intentions, shoving him at the exact second he slashed at the officer's
I think
throat.
if they set it up, then they can get away from each other, and this one's ready to live the rest of his life down in here. I make him a case study behind grilled glass for interpretations. Well, this is the Gazoo exhibit. You know, you're going to get something out of him as long as I'm cranking him through the machine gun here. So that's you. And that's where I make the money back on this, to the system on this. Well, it happens. This is how you have to deal with it. Because, yeah, unless one of these come here to think about your case and how to fix out the number, because they wouldn't actually be able to quantify it by any other standard without having to know the damn problem and the orderlies that might be around. You know, because I'd probably want to have a couple of fucking orderlies that are big, bad, and nasty based on math. Just because 3 of those, or 2 of those, or one with a gimp in his leg that day, or tired of hammering the ground and tip of his dick and making him walk sideways.
Authorities remain uncertain what provoked 24-year-old Douglas Burton to attack Deputy Moon. But whatever the motivation, CCTV footage sees Burton rush behind the deputy's desk, attacking Moon and quickly locking him in a chokehold. Uninterrupted, the move could have killed the deputy. That is, if it wasn't for the efforts of other prisoners. Footage shows one inmate appear from nowhere and take Burton down swiftly, just as 2 others jump on the struggling pair. While the group wrestles the violent felon to the ground, another prisoner takes the initiative to grab Moon's radio and call for backup. All the while, more inmates pile on the attackers, saving that lone deputy Ken Moon's life.
Have you ever been in most of them and be like, the correction number is, I'm going to walk through this and then we're good, because they don't give a shit, and it'll be the same damn thing. And most sensible people will do that. And if you give them the bit that get out early on certain standards that are not just some horse shit based on some bullshit that doesn't need to go through some of that, it just needs to go through a different training models, a different system, like separator, centrifugal force, the recent tensor, general relativity, field theory, equation. The orbitals are where Jupiter is right now. You know, damn it, you better know. You better know his ass is in there. And finding that John in the church preaching it all up, or some kid fucking squeaking and yelling and getting doomslayer on his ass about his pride and fucking what's going on in the squared city today. Because you would be able to find out some things just an evaluator going by, hey, anything I want to help, what's the game? Because you get out there, what was it, in on 90 days, some shit like that, and what do you find out next? Beep, beep.